Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a woman is in the hospital after an explosion in her home. Plus, love can be deceiving. How scammers are preying on hearts and wallets.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and a happy Valentine's Day to you. It is February 14th and the time is now 5:31 on the dot. That means it's time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmolf during this first alert weather day. Megan, it has been a little bit colder. I know we had that warm spell a while ago. It was a great treat, and now we are back to some of that colder weather.
Yes, a cold start to your Valentine's Day. Definitely going to need that coat as you head out the door because those temperatures are looking quite chilly. With these temperatures in the teens and 20s. Yes, you heard me right. We're seeing teens this morning, 19 degrees in Somerset and 17 as we're heading towards Irvine. Now, places that have a little bit more wind, we'll see those temperatures feeling just a little bit cooler. But look at that. Nice and dry on live pinpoint Doppler radar. In fact, this is a 6-hour loop and you do not see a single drop of precipitation. A nice little break from the rain. But more rain chances are on the way as we're going through the next couple of days. Nice little break for Monday and most of your Tuesday. But again, for most of these days, we have at least a little bit of a chance of rain. But the good news as we're going into the following week, take a look at the precipitation outlook. We're looking drier than normal for February 22nd to February 28th. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the drier conditions, Amelia.
Thank you, Megan. Well, a Laurel County woman is in the hospital recovering from serious burns after an explosion and fire at her home. Kentucky State Police say the homeowner, Shirley Wynn, was found with severe burns to around 80% of her body. She received immediate treatment before being taken to the hospital. She was later transferred to a specialized burn treatment facility in Louisville. KSP says early findings suggest propane gas used for floor space heaters may have caused this explosion. A car crash in Knox County put 3 people in the hospital yesterday morning. Fire crews in Artemis say this car flipped on Kentucky 930. You can see that car on the screen, and it almost landed in the Cumberland River. 2 kids and 1 adult were taken to the hospital. Their conditions are still not known. In Claiborne County, Tennessee, 2 people were arrested after police evacuated a search warrant. Wednesday, police went to a home in Tazewell where they found a fugitive from Ohio hiding. Eddie Lawson was wanted for an indictment of aggravated possession of drugs. Kendall England was also wanted on several charges. During a search of the home, police found 2 handguns and more than $6,000 believed to be the profit of the illegal sale of narcotics. Changes could be coming to the state's way of handling some juvenile offenders if a bill passes the General Assembly. Senators in the Judiciary Committee passed Senate Bill 111 yesterday. It would set up a funding mechanism to house girl and boy inmates in separate facilities. It would also set up a process to treat inmates with mental health issues.
There are problems within the state right now of certain facilities not wanting to take kids who have a high acuity mental illness due to behavioral issues.
It would also set up a process to remove youth from hospitals if they commit acts of violence or if they incite violence. A fundraiser in Johnson County is all about getting a history teacher back into his home. The Johnson Central High School community is rallying behind their history teacher, Rex Collins, after trees fell on his house during the winter storms in January. Collins students Jacob Sloan, Emily Triplett, and Madison Burchett are crowdfunding to bring in money to help offset the estimated $40,000 cost of repairs. The trio has already seen more than $5,000 donated since creating the online fundraiser on Monday.
God always makes something good out of something bad. And obviously it's bad when you lose your home, but it could have been a lot worse, and I've been blessed in so many ways since then.
The students say it has been overwhelming to see the community and strangers supporting their teacher because he just means so much to the students and the school. The Estill County Animal Shelter is asking for your help. The shelter says they took in more than a dozen dogs with mange and other health problems. They're asking for donations like medicated shampoo. You can find their hours and other donation needs on their website. Well, love is in the air as we celebrate Valentine's Day today, but there's certainly no love for scammers. Officials say every year thousands of people fall victim to scams in the midst of love. Mariah Conjito spoke with police about some warning signs that you need to be aware of on this Valentine's Day.
According to the Federal Trade Commission, in 2023, victims lost more than $1 billion to these scams. On average, people give a couple $1,000s, but some give hundreds of thousands.
They provide the support and build a rapport with the victims over time. It can take several weeks, sometimes several months or longer. So the victim builds this emotional relationship with this unknown perpetrator.
As the online relationship blossoms, a scammer may decide to send a small gift to their victim.
And they're like, well, I'm obviously in a relationship. They're sending me presents, and so now I feel like I'm even more involved.
Lieutenant Jesse Palmer with the Lexington Police Department says this makes the victim more willing to help when the hook comes along.
Or an unfortunate circumstance that happens where the perpetrator suddenly is requesting something, usually in the form of money.
Victims can get roped into giving money, sending cryptocurrency, gift cards, and even their banking information.
Always try to be rational and step back, take things slowly if you are involved in a new chat with somebody online, and look for those red flags.
Palmer says red flags could include praising the victim a lot or making excuse after excuse when it's time to meet. These relationships, or lack thereof, usually start on social media and dating apps.
People, they're looking for love. They're looking for connection. So that's a target-rich environment for the perpetrators.
If you're suspicious that the person you're talking to isn't real, Palmer says do a reverse image search of their pictures. He also says don't be afraid or embarrassed to come forward if you think you've fallen victim.
If we can catch it soon enough, we may be able to get the money back, but a lot of times it takes so long for people to report this that we can never get the money back for somebody.
Palmer says in a romance scam, a victim could also be asked to send explicit photos. The scammer will then threaten to release the photos if they don't send them the money they're asking for. Mariah Conjito, WKYT.
Kentucky State Police say they'll be patrolling roads extra this Valentine's weekend. For the next 3 days, they'll be focusing on seatbelt usage, speeding, and DUI enforcement along I-75. It's part of a larger state trooper project for safer roads. Well, showing love through actions this Valentine's Day. Experts say it's a key component to help those managing their mental health. In Kentucky, suicide represents the second leading cause of death among people 10 to 34 years old. Doctors say in most cases, suffering is silent. One doctor says a conversation starter can help a child or a loved one who is facing dark times.
Having that open dialogue and just saying to someone, hey, I noticed that you might be struggling. You want to talk about what's going on? It seems like you might have had a rough day. How about we talk about it? Opens that door to have a conversation, a real conversation about emotions, and the ability for parents to then validate those emotions rather than trying to solve them or get rid of them.
UK Healthcare has a website to help you or a loved one navigate mental health challenges. If you take a look at your screen, that website is right there at the bottom. Well, the Pike County Library is hosting an event this weekend for folks wanting to learn more about ham, or amateur radios. Organizers of the event say there will be a testing session allowing attendees to test for 3 different types of licenses. The event is from 3:30 until 5:30 on Saturday evening. The address is 126 Lee Avenue in Pikeville. Just ahead, an inside look on what to expect in new seasons of some of your favorite TV shows.
And I'll have how much rain you can expect this weekend.